There was once a humble village nestled between two winding rivers and dense forests, a place called Eldervale. Life moved slowly there. People worked hard, lived simply, and trusted easily. Two traveling merchants arrived one spring, both selling crafted goods, pots, jewelry, and trinkets carved from wood and stone. They made a pact, split the village down the center and sell to each half. Once one was done with their area, the other could follow. But while their agreement seemed fair, their hearts were not the same. The first merchant, a cold-eyed man named Grady, was driven by nothing but profit. To him, people were just pockets waiting to be emptied. The second, a warm-spirited man named Elias, believed business was about more than money. It was about people, connection, and honesty. One warm afternoon, Grady was walking past a small, run-down cottage. A little girl peeked through the wooden door and tugged on her grandmother's hand. "Grandma," she whispered, "can we get one of those bracelets?" The grandmother chuckled softly, brushing the girl's hair back. "Sweetheart, we don't have the kind of money people like him want." "But we do have the old dish," the girl replied. "The one Papa left behind. Maybe he'll trade?" Curious but doubtful, the grandmother invited Grady in. The inside of the house was dim, filled with love but not luxury. They showed him an old blackened dish, thick with soot and ash from years near the fireplace. Grady barely glanced at it. He saw their worn clothes, the dirt under the girl's nails, and he wrote them off in a second. "Nothing you have is worth even the smallest trinket," he scoffed. The grandmother, embarrassed but persistent, offered the old dish. "It's just been with us a long time. Maybe it has some worth." He took it, scratched it lightly, and froze. Beneath the grime, a golden shimmer caught his eye. It wasn't a dish, it was solid gold. His heart raced. He had stumbled upon a fortune. But instead of honesty, greed took over. He handed the dish back casually and said, "Worthless, not even fit for scrap," then turned and walked out the door with a smirk, thinking, "They'll take pennies for it when I come back." Later that day, Elias, the second merchant, made his way to the same part of town. The little girl spotted him and again tugged at her grandmother. "Maybe this one will say yes?" The grandmother hesitated, but this man smiled gently. He didn't have the air of a swindler. She invited him in. When Elias saw the dish, he too scratched it. His eyes widened. Solid gold. But instead of hiding his reaction, he looked the grandmother in the eyes and said, "Ma'am, this dish is worth more than everything I own. It's gold." The grandmother gasped. "Gold? We had no idea." "I can't take advantage of you," Elias said. "Here's what I can offer. Every pot, every bracelet, every coin I have, except for 8 silver pieces in this small scale. If that's fair to you, the trade is yours." She looked at his honest face and nodded. They traded, and Elias left immediately for the river, using the last of his coins to pay for a ferry across. Moments later, Grady returned, rehearsing his con in his mind. He knocked, grinning. "I've changed my mind. I'll give you 5 cents for that old dish. Maybe I can melt it down." The grandmother opened the door slowly and said calmly, "You lied to us. That dish was gold. We gave it to the other merchant who told us the truth." Grady's face drained of color. "He what?" "He's already on the ferry," the girl said, pointing toward the river. Grady ran. He left his bags, his goods, everything. Down at the riverbank, he could see the ferry halfway across. Elias stood calmly on deck, holding the golden dish, watching the sunset. Grady screamed, "Come back, that's mine!" But Elias said nothing. The ferry kept moving forward. Grady collapsed to his knees, screaming that he'd been robbed, that it was unfair, that he'd been cheated. But deep down he knew he had cheated himself. His rage overtook him. He punched the ground, beat his chest. All the greed, all the hate, all the ego. He couldn't contain it anymore. His heart gave out right there on the shore. And so, one man walked away with gold. Not because he chased it, but because he led with integrity. The other was destroyed by his own lies. The lesson? In a world hungry for quick wins, shortcuts, and fast money, truth, kindness, and integrity are still the most powerful currencies you can carry. Honesty isn't just a virtue, it's your greatest wealth.